Are we good?
Let's see. I think it's just loading. It's like setting up meeting.
Well, I'm showing that we're live. So
Oh, okay. Awesome. We are live.
cool. Well, welcome everyone to our Facebook Live. I'm Andrew Donovan. This is my lovely and dear friend, Regan Jayne.
Hey guys.
And you've met Regan before, actually, and you can see we're still celebrating the aftermath of Christmas in both of our houses.
Little Christmas tree.
So we're excited to hop on the Facebook Live with you because, first of all, the last time we did a Facebook Live where Regan was a guest speaker, it was just wildly popular. People really valued the content that you brought, Regan, and also Regan and I have an announcement to make for you guys. So Regan, just for our new friends who maybe haven't heard your story yet, let me introduce you. So Regan was the youngest diamond in doTERRA. So the company that she's building is like just on fire, and her team is on fire. And she's a Harvard student right now. She graduated from Dartmouth, and she's managed to build this massively international network marketing organization while being a full-time student and doing like all these philanthropic things too. Does that sum it up?
You're too kind. It's definitely a really kind introduction. But yes, I'm really fortunate that doTERRA fell into my lap when I was around 20, 21 years old. And I saw the opportunity as a way to really generate freedom for people my age. And it was kind of a lightning moment where I recognized that this is the business model for my generation. Not only is it, in such just like impeccable alignment with our values and what we believe in, especially our company doTERRA has an amazing philanthropic mission and a social impact mission, just integral into the foundation of the company. But the whole concept of network marketing and residual income and building an asset that works for you over time and putting your effort in the short run to create a life of your own design, a life of freedom, that just made so much sense to me. And then I became inspired and motivated to tell everyone my age that this was the new way to build a freedom lifestyle. So it's been incredible. It's been such an awesome journey. I hit diamond when I was 20. I just turned 24. I hit platinum when I was 23. And that was already the abundance that like I couldn't even have conceptualized for someone that age. And then the ability to not only be free to live a lifestyle on my own terms and, afford to go to graduate school, which is just because I wanted to do that, not because I had to do that. But then also having the ability to have the abundance to be generous and to give back and to create a dent in the universe.
Well, what I love about your story is that you were a pioneer for sure. Like you were an early adopter as far as Gen Z / millennial people jumping in and then hitting significant income ranks. And now at this point, like more and more people are doing it. But we wanted to do this Facebook Live because while there's a lot of people who are under 30 that are hitting like leadership ranks and hitting that 5-figure income level in their businesses, there's the vast majority of teams that are still more mature generations, baby boomers and Gen X's, and then some even more mature than baby boomers. And a lot of people are like, hold on, wait, what is that? What, like this girl on Instagram hit diamond in 4 months? Like that doesn't even make sense to me.
Right.
So we thought we should do some investigating, put together some case studies, and then make sure that we could fill everybody in on what the heck is going on and how you can get a piece of the action.
Absolutely. I think there's a few things that are important when we're looking at all of these, like what seem to be kind of rogue cases of a girl hitting blue diamond in a year, or, there's a girl we just had on our Geno call who took to Instagram really quickly and hit diamond in 4 months, right? These are not anomalies. They're actually just the new rising tide of this next generation. And we're going to start to see more and more and more and more of these examples of young people having this, like my experience I had where this business model just clicked. It's second nature to my generation. We're all sorts of affiliate marketing. We're so used to social media marketing. We're so used to sharing what we love over social media. So this business model is just completely second nature to us. So as soon as you get a millennial or a Gen Z to conceptualize this opportunity, to fall in love with the product and the business model and the company, it's just going to click. So it's not that these are going to be these rogue case studies. As Andrew said, we've done some investigating, and it's truly just that this next generation of leadership and it's inevitable when a company evolves that the next generation is going to be younger and younger, and they're going to have to start to cater to a younger audience. And we just want to identify some of those case secrets right now in advance and let you know what's working for this generation and why you're seeing these superstars rising so quickly.
Well, so I think that there are three big assumptions that I hear a lot of from more mature generations when they're looking at the massive population of millennials and Gen Zs that they have access to, or they could network with without too much difficulty. I think people make three assumptions. One, they're too busy and distracted because they're like in school, they're working their job or whatever. Two, they don't have any money. They're young, so they're poor. And three, they don't have any experience. They lack the maturity to jump into business. And we don't think that those three things are actual barriers to entry, correct?
Absolutely not. I mean, I had all of those things. I was in my early 20s. I was in school. I am in school currently. And I didn't have the discretionary income to just start throwing money around and buying expensive programs and doing expensive promos. Absolutely not. But when my team, who we often, like most of my team is on the younger side, we just didn't want to take that as an obstacle and didn't want to take no for an answer. So it wasn't that we couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it the same traditional way that everyone had been doing it before. So it's not that it doesn't work or it's impossible. You just have to work smarter, and we have to kind of adjust some of these systems to be more in alignment with the way that we work. So yes, we are multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate people. We have all of these side hustles, but that's part of our gift. And if we can, instead of using that as an excuse, leverage those elements of our generational attitudes and our MO as a generation, instead of saying, oh no, well, network marketing in this traditional way is not going to work for young people because XYZ reason. Instead of taking that as a barrier, we took that as an opportunity to sort of shift the whole conversation and really approach things very, very differently and laterally and radically different in our generation. And we're excited about it.
Well, I've seen specific teams and specific companies that are making this transition that you're talking about. And then I've seen a lot of groups, whether it's a team or an entire company, that have a hard time adapting to this. And they plateau either as, whatever the organization is. I'm specifically thinking of like some makeup companies that have stuck with a much older demographic, more mature demographic, and then some other makeup companies that have really lasered in on this, like this loving yourself, being authentic to you kind of thing. And they're just becoming magnets for young people. And even in like essential oil companies and like different health and wellness organizations, I'm seeing specific teams that have figured out how to do what you're doing and figured out not like just how to shift all their energy toward young people, but how to make it a more captivating message that more ages can relate to.
Yeah. And recognizing the temperature and the heartbeat of this generation, right? We're passionate about different things. We have different priorities. And so the message and the offering has to be in alignment with what we care about. So with those makeup companies that you mentioned that are getting left behind, it's because they're just sticking to what they know works. But the unfortunate fact about being a human that's alive is that you age, and it's eventually the purchasing power is being shifted down to my generation. And actually, I was reading this book, and I told you about it earlier, Andrew, but it was talking about conscious capitalism and the opportunity that my generation has to reform the entire concept of what it means to do business in the world today, especially with climate change and environmental sustainability in mind. And there's actually going to be a multiple $100 trillion wealth transfer in the next 10 years from the boomers and their accumulated assets as they start to pass on and give in their wills or in trusts down to my generation. We are going to accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars that we can then decide as a generation how we're going to invest it, how we're going to vote with our dollars, how we're going to be conscious consumers. So these companies need to keep in mind that the next generation with the purchasing power is totally different than the generations that they've been marketing to that worked. So what we did, and Andrew and I, is really started to identify what those leverage points were for my generation and for the generation that's coming into leadership, and how to communicate those passions and priorities and lifestyle factors effectively as you're talking to someone my age.
So one of the advantages I think of being a young entrepreneur is that we're likely to be friends with other young entrepreneurs. And Regan and I thought we would take advantage of this and collect a little group of case studies. So people who hit significant income levels, significant leadership ranks before the age of 30. And of course, everyone watching knows that that's Regan's story, that's my story. It's a lot of other cool people's stories too. And we did interviews. We ask them what their secret sauces are. We ask them what made them listen, like why, why they tuned into their whoever invited them to look into the business. We ask them why they listen, why they tuned into that versus all the clutter, all the, hazy messages that are all over the place that distract us. We ask them what their enrolling secret sauce is, like how they gain personal enrollments every single month on a consistent basis, because that's the most guaranteed way to grow your business. What else did we ask them?
We asked them what their pitch would be if they were talking to themselves in when they were first hearing the message, or if they were someone trying to talk to a millennial in one line, what would you say to get their attention? We asked them what they struggled with and how they overcame it. And these are all valuable things. And I want to reiterate that this is from their words, right? So you're literally going to be able to read from an under 30-year-old diamond 6-figure income earner what they did that worked, what they did that didn't work and how they fixed it, and what stood out about the message. Someone right along the way, let them know about this opportunity and what made them stop in their tracks and listen and really take it seriously, and how did they launch their business in a way that was successful.
This is a really exciting conversation, because it's really easy. I think it's really easy to look at a generation that's, a couple decades away from your own generation and to think, that's out of reach for me because I don't relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
If we do that, we're going to leave a huge piece of the pie untouched. We're going to leave tremendous opportunity on the table. And like we said earlier at the beginning of our Facebook Live, there is an inevitable shift in leadership coming your way. There is an inevitable shift in purchasing power coming your way. And so if you don't think ahead of the game that you're playing currently, if you don't forecast and say, how do I prepare for an evolution that must take place if I don't want my business to go stagnant, if I don't want to plateau, if I don't want to become archaic, which...
Right. You don't want to get left behind. All of these, we have all these agile startups coming and totally disrupting entire verticals because they have the ability to reverse engineer sustainability and millennial marketing. And then we have these giant companies that are going to get left behind in the next decade. And you don't want to be a team that gets left behind as all of these younger network marketers come in with their different strategies and totally disrupt the space, which is we're seeing happen now. And honestly, selfishly, this is the whole concept of Gen O and the idea of Millennial Diamond. Selfishly, I just want to see more people my age recognize and realize the opportunity that is in front of them, whatever company it is that they're looking at. Network marketing truly is a freedom business. If you do it strategically and you align with a company that you really care about and you feel like you are on a mission towards something bigger than yourself, this is a complete 180. It can change your entire life. So I selfishly want to see more people my age walking across the stage, hitting leadership ranks. And I know that the best way to prove to someone that something can be done is to do it and to show them other people that look like them and talk like them and are their same demographic and age that they're doing it. And so when we create a movement of young people in Gen O and through Millennial Diamond, it's just further social proof that not only is this doable, but it's incredible and it's totally accessible to you as well.
And we know there's a lot of people watching this Facebook Live who are not Gen Z and they're not millennials. They're Gen X and baby boomers. And this message is predominantly for you. Do we want all the young people possible to watch this and say, ooh, I want in on this? Totally. And we also know that currently the bulk of the leadership power, the bulk of influence in this network marketing entrepreneurship arena lies in the hands of our parents' generations or the generation right above us. That means that we see this as a mantle of responsibility that is on your shoulders to bring in younger upcoming leadership. So we're going to make this really easy by presenting what we are super proud to call the Millennial Diamond case study. It's the case study we've talked about where we did these interviews, we compiled them, we made them beautiful, and we put them online for free. And we want you to download it. We want you to share the download link, the link with your team members. We want everybody to have access to this.
Absolutely. So if you're watching this and you are someone who is excited about having Millennial Diamonds on your team, or you do have young people on your team and you don't necessarily know if you're doing the best you can to support them and relate to them, or you're out there and you're like, I'm talking to millennials and my message is landing flat. I can't relate. I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand, I had one time I posted on the Diamond group Facebook page and I said something like, "This is really dope." And I got a lot of comments being like, "I'm so embarrassed, but I don't know what that word means." So if you're in that boat and you're like, "I just really want to connect with younger people, pass the baton on," as Andrew was saying, to this next generation, and you want those leaders to be under you and on your team, and you want to be able to inspire and mobilize and ignite the next generation, then this is going to be valuable for you, because you can literally borrow these words and you can just start to put yourself, put on your empathy hat and put yourself in the shoes of someone that age and really understand what lands, what doesn't, what sounds good, what doesn't, and how to keep them motivated and inspired long term.
And this is just the beginning of a big movement we intend to create here. So Regan, of course, if you know anything about Regan, you know that she is the master of creating community. So when you've got young people building on your teams, she's the person who's gathering many teams together. So there's a big support network of young builders and who are going places. And then we have something that's new that nobody has seen yet, that comes out in just a few days. So you're going to want to be in the know about that. We'll blast it all over social media. In the meantime, click the link that's in the description of this video and make sure to download our free case study. And it's 31 pages of just yummy information, and not Regan and Andrew's voice alone, like other people who have just made huge tidal waves in this space and whose brains you're going to want to get into.
Absolutely. Literally just transplant yourself into my brain. Curtis Harding, who's my co-founder of Gen O Movement, he's involved in the case study, and some other really notable diamonds that are just rocking it in their business, hitting rank like that. And it's going to be an incredible opportunity to, just as Andrew said, jump into their brain, go down the rabbit hole, and really start to see what it's like to build a business as a 20-something-year-old, especially if you are not a 20-something-year-old. And then you're also going to want to keep your eye out on your email, because Andrew and I have planned out an awesome series full of extra added value and some extra content. And then you'll also get notified about the big launch of our Millennial Diamond course. So you do not want to miss that. It's really, it's going to be me on soapboxes talking about my generation, Andrew doing his thing and helping you really identify how to move the needle in your business and to create actionable steps with the information you're learning.
Yep. So click the link, download the case study, watch out. We're going to send a whole ton of value on this all about this young entrepreneur world to you. And thanks for joining us on our Facebook Live. Hope everyone had a happy holiday season. Happy New Year to you all.
Enjoy. See you in 2020.
Bye. I think you have the